Hey guys, I'm back. So yeah, it was less than 10 minutes. It was less than 10 minutes. But so I'm gonna wait for the chat to fill up like I always do, especially because I didn't like announce this like way ahead of time. So you guys were still in the moon live chat, then you saw I was gonna be doing this. But let's see. Oh, there we go. Hey guys. Let's see. We got Nicolette, we've got Cynthia, Stephanie. Hello. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait a bit, let the chat fill up, and then we'll start talking about this. But I wanted to do it like just honestly, just a discussion. Like I'm not gonna be like preaching anything. Just really wanted to talk to you guys about this just because. So well, I guess I'm already talking. I'm like, I'm gonna wait to talk. Now I guess I'm just gonna talk. Let's see, 2 lives in one day. Yeah, I was like, should I not? Because I wanted to, but I've just been so tired because I've been so sleep deprived. So I haven't been doing this. Plus, like last couple of days, things have just gotten different regarding this topic for me. They've gotten a little different. Hey, WaterBaby, so happy you're doing this. I have a lot of questions on this topic. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll do a Balmy Spirit episode on this. The next episode for Balmy Spirit, I already had the topic in mind, and now I'm like, oh, I can make it grander. I'm already harnessing that Leo energy. I can make it grander. I could go bigger with it. Because I'm actually gonna be traveling like in the next couple days. So I might do something fun for the next Balmy Spirit episode. You're in my head before I realize. A lot of people say that to me. A lot of people will say that to me. I'm going to give it like another like 20 seconds or so for the chat, and then I'll go ahead and I'll start talking about it. I like talking. I need a soul sister. Maybe I'll just do more like live hangouts where we just chit chat like this. Maybe I will. I feel like I used to. I don't know. It's just been weird. It's been a weird couple of months for everyone. I know, like even for me, especially, I'm just like things have been so weird. But things are definitely starting to feel better for sure. A double talkathon for the tubers. Yay. Gotta love that Leo full moon Mercury retrograde shadow energy. I'm like, God, I already feel like I'm feeling it. I mean, everything has a pre-shadow and post-shadow, right? Everything does. Are shamans mediums? Mediumship is an ability that people will have independent of their spiritual practice. I'll say it like that. Hey, Allie. Thanks for coming back. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I texted you. I don't know if you saw it, but we got to catch up on that because I don't know how I missed that text from you. I was like, because I looked at my phone after live and I was like, what? How did I miss that? Anyway, we'll talk. We'll catch up. So yeah, let's just start talking. So just to share those with you guys, then we can just start the discussion because I'm curious what you guys think and like your personal experiences with this. So when it comes to mediumship, through the course of my life, I know I have that ability. I know I do. But it's been very like, it hasn't been super prominent compared to my other abilities. Like it's not a daily thing where I'm experiencing this, right? With deceased people, with spirit energies, right? Of people who are no longer in this timeline, right? But it's like I said, it's been like events through the course of my life. Like it's not a daily thing. It hasn't been like shoved in my face like my other abilities have. But ever since the second, I don't know. It's been I feel like it's taken on a new level for me. Like every time I try to sleep now, every time I try to go to bed or like I'm coming out of sleep, like people are talking to me. And normally with mediumship, like if I do have a spirit that's trying to get my attention and I don't want to be bothered because we got boundaries, right? Where I don't want to be bothered. It's very easy for me to be like, no. And they go away, right? Not so much anymore. It's more like they're talking at me. Like they're just telling me what they want me to know. And I remember the first time this happened, this was like literally the night of February 2nd. So February 2nd, I had a lot of energy. I had a lot of signs and confirmations come in. I was feeling really good. And then I had trouble sleeping that night. I didn't go to bed till like 5 a.m. And then I finally was going to sleep and somebody was talking to me. And I remember, and I was so out of it and I was so tired. And I remember just being like, look, I didn't get to bed till this time. Please let me sleep. And then, okay, I'm sorry. I'll let you sleep. And they went away. And at first I was like, maybe someone just astral to me. Like maybe that's just what it was, right? But ever since then, like every time I'm like laying down, people and relaxing, and I can feel myself getting into that kind of a state, people just start talking to me, and I'm just like, oh shit. Like is this taking on a whole other level that I like wasn't aware? Like I didn't know, obviously, like I don't know when this shit's gonna happen to me, when like our abilities change, right? But something about February 2nd really changed my mediumship abilities. So yeah, so now I'm kind of like, I wonder where this is taking me. Like, I wonder what direction this is going in, you know? And it's crazy the stuff that comes through, right? It's crazy just like, because people are just telling you their stories, or they're telling you whatever they feel needs to be communicated, right? And it's just like, why do we need to have conversations like this? Like, you know, it's something that I'm trying to, sorry, that's Clyde, if you can hear him. It's something I'm trying to acclimate to, and trying to understand why it's coming online in this way. Like if this is something I'm supposed to use, not use, I don't know, but it's interesting. So I just wanted to like put it out there, because like I said, I'm still trying to understand it myself, of like how it's changing, you know? But I'm curious what your experiences are with that for you guys. Like if you guys have had any differences in your abilities last couple days since the 2nd. Do you hear audible voices with their tone? Yes. I also hear telepathically. So both. Both. Is it annoying? Yes. Yes, it's very annoying. I would actually say one of the first times I really experienced it, like hardcore, was like my first time in Sedona. And it's interesting because every time I go to Sedona, my abilities are always like on steroids when I'm in Sedona, always. And like at this point in my life, I knew I had abilities, but I didn't know much more than that. And I was not like woke or anything like that. And I was a kid. Well, kid is a relative term. And I was trying to sleep, and like all of these Native American women like lined up like in a line, and they were trying to like talk to me. They kept trying to like get my attention, and I kept going, no, like I kept like saying no, but like there were so many of them. Anyways, like that was like the first time I was like, oh, this is a thing. Like this is a thing that like I you know, that I need to like be aware of, is in my capability. But it was never like I said, it was never a daily thing for me. And now it's like becoming a daily thing. Let's see. Vibrates a lot. I'm excited all the time. Strong in different areas, but I just got back from New Orleans. Oh, I hope you had a good time. It's funny, I was looking at my pictures from New Orleans the other day too. Oh yeah, it's always a different person. It's usually a different person. I usually don't get repeats. Usually I don't get repeats. I love mediumship. Just don't like the nighttime communicating. Yeah, it feels very intrusive. It feels very intrusive. And like I said, until like recently, it hasn't been a daily thing. But some of the experiences I've had, sometimes like when they actually like show their like when I get a glimpse of them, I don't like that. It's a little much, you know. It's just a little much. It's just a little much. Seems strongest to me in New Orleans. Yeah, God, New Orleans is fascinating. I kind of wish I did a video on New Orleans when I was there, but there was no way I had the time with like with everything that had gone down there. Do you believe in flame? Any message for them? Oh, that was actually going to be my topic for the next Balmy Spirit video. And I was like, I feel like there's like way more that I should be talking about other than that. Like, for those who've been with me for a while, like you guys know, I don't like to get focused on the twin flame counterpart stuff because I think it's highly, highly misunderstood. But there will be a Balmy Spirit video on that, and that will most likely be included in the next one, which I'm going to be recording this week for, and then doing all the editing. So it should be posted by next week. I know how you feel so strong about your heritage. I don't know much about mine, as was adopted. Oh, Clark. Yeah, that can be really hard. And I haven't known too many people who've been adopted. I've known a couple. but you know, and I know it all depends on like what kind of adoption like it was, like to find out and everything. I mean, you can always do genetic testing. I know a lot of people feel like really apprehensive about doing that, but you could always do that, and that could like help you get some starters. You can actually find your family that way. You could, if you know, if your family ever did the testing, if you were open to doing it that way. Let's see. Moving to Shasta, want to check out the vortex. Oh, cool. That's so cool, Lauren. I've never been to Shasta, actually. Did they tell you things you need to tell others, or just things they want you to know? Trying to think, like last night, there was one that kind of stood out to me. It was weird because I was trying to block it out, right? So as I'm trying to block it out, like I'm missing stuff, right? Because I'm trying to make them go away. Because I was like, I just want to sleep. And it's like they were trying to tell me about something that had happened, about like all the details of something that had happened, like the truth about something that had happened, and like all the players involved, and like who the person responsible was, like who the person, like, where's my grammar? The person who was responsible for it. And I was like trying to tune it out. So like they tell me stuff like that, you know. And I had one experience the last couple of days that was very strange. Hold on a second. Corianne, thank you for the 1111. My daughter had a near-death experience in a four-wheeler accident. I think she has had gifts. A lot of people who have near-death experiences will come out of it having abilities, you know, like being exposed in that way. I'm glad she's okay. Oh my goodness. I'm glad she's okay. That sounds like it was really scary. What was the thing I was going to say? Oh, so like this one I thought was really weird because I haven't had an experience like this where at the time I was experiencing it, I thought I was having some weird astral experience because I was dealing with this person who I knew I didn't know. Like I knew I didn't know them. I knew that. Like in my core, I knew I didn't know them. But the way we were carrying on was as if like we had some kind of intimate relationship. It was weird. It almost felt like I was having someone else's experience is how it felt. Like I felt yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it. Like I felt like I was having someone else's experience. And we walked outside of a house that we were in, and he stood in the driveway, and I walked down the street to talk to somebody, and I heard gunshots. And then I ran back, and this guy, and he's like dying, like in the driveway. And the things I'm saying to him are things that like you would say to someone to help them move on. Like, it's okay to not be here anymore. It's too hard here. It's too hard here anyway. Like it's okay to go. But the way I was grieving was like as if I had some kind of deep connection with this person, but it didn't feel like it was me. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like it was really interesting. It was really kind of strange. It felt like I was having someone else's experience, but helping this person move on. You know what I mean? It was just very strange. It was just very strange. Let's see. Talks them out loud in private. Oh yeah, I do that all the time myself too. That's always good. Oh, I mean, guys, spirits are around all the time. They are everywhere. They're everywhere. Trust me, they are everywhere. And your guides are always there too. Always, always. They're just waiting to be spoken to. I've been having similar experiences too. Okay. I was like, am I crazy? Like, I know I'm not crazy. It's like I hear them, but then I'm not there. What is it called when you connect with animal spirits? It just means you're connecting with them. Like animal spirits are just the same as us. They're spirits, they're entities like of their own, you know? It's really cool that you can connect with them though. Like not everybody can. I actually have a friend who can connect with them. And it's just so cool. It's so fascinating. And I feel like if you're highly empathic, you should have some kind of sense of what an animal is trying to relay to you in general, if you're highly empathic. Scorpio Sun, thank you for the 2222. Any advice on how to develop that gift? I've always been able to see them, but now I would like to communicate. I used to be able to when I was a child. Oh, well, it's like I said, I spent a good amount of time like trying to push this kind of ability away, right? As I've been like very candid about. And clearly they're just not going to let me do that. And maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if I should or shouldn't. But anyway, if you want to enhance it, with any ability of enhancing it, it's about the practice, right? It's about putting energy into it and trying to hone it in, trying to control it, trying to understand it, and spending time just trying, right? Like sit down and like try to get into that state where you can hear them. And if you want to get to a place of communicating with them, just try different ways of talking to them. Like you can speak three-dimensionally, like vocally, you can try to speak to them telepathically, you can try to extend your energy out to them. The only way to make it happen is to keep trying. Like that's really the only way to make it happen. And that's going to be a different way for you than for someone else, right? I feel like everybody taps in their own unique way, since everybody has their own unique frequency and everybody works with their energy differently than someone else would. It's a very unique experience, person to person. But honestly, just try, like just sit there and just keep trying, like schedule a little session with yourself every day to just keep trying and see what you get out of it. Hold on a second. Did this freeze again? No. Okay. It's like, what the hell's going on, all this tech stuff? But that would be my advice on that one. Let's see. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Thanks for 1111. I have spirit sing me to sleep. Oh, that's cute. I think that's actually really cute, as long as it's like, you know, cute spirits, I guess. Also been able to communicate with other spirit guides, and I do connect with animals, mainly birds and bugs, and channeled a fish once. Oh, I think channeling a fish would be funny. I totally recommend it. Oh my God, that's really cool. Yeah, I love hanging out with like animals. Honestly, the energy that animals possess, it feels so pure. You know, it doesn't feel like it's tainted by like all this crap that we experience with, you know, people. Right? I mean, that's just the truth. That's just the truth of it. But that's really cool that you channeled a fish. I can't get over that. That's awesome. Is it mediumship to dream about something and then it happens? No, that's like prophetic stuff. Mediumship is about connecting and communicating with actual souls, people who've passed on. Technically, it can also people who haven't been born yet. Technically, I would say is mediumship, but being able to like communicate with them and see them anywhere in between is mediumship. I feel horrible 18 months. I've been allowing this pain to go on. Oh, Kelsey, I'm sorry you're in pain. I'm sorry. It's, you know, we all go through the ups and downs. You all go through the ebb and flow. And I know when you're in the ebb and like the bottom of the ebb, I know it can be really, really hard, but it always gets better. It does always get better. My grandpa died. He speaks no English. How does that work? What do you mean, Laura? What do you mean? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? I had a little white dog pull his owner to come talk to me. I think it's so funny when animals do that. It cracks me up when animals do that. And it's funny because, let's see, trying to connect with him. Oh, honestly, like, well, you should just be able to feel his energy. I don't think there should be that much of a language barrier. I mean, I don't know if you speak the same language as he does, but they find ways to communicate to you. Like, even if there, you know, was some kind of language barrier in life, like they find ways. Let's see. I've connected with my father through dream state. If a medium was trying to connect with him, like I said, they'll find a way. Like they find ways to communicate. Let's see. Can you channel someone's higher self before death? It's an interesting question. Can you channel someone's higher self before death? I mean, technically, like if you can tap into people, not everybody can do that. Like some people can do that. Some people are capable. For me, it depends on the person that I'm tapping into, of how well I can tap into them. But I try not to do that. I try not to be invasive like that. I try not to tap into like anyone specific, like, you know, not totally my business. Like it's different from tapping into a collective than like one person specifically, you know, especially if they don't have my permission to do that, right? Like it, you know, that feels a little invasive. Let's see. Oh, I just lost my mom today. I'm sorry. I heard her say she was happy. I still feel sad, but I did speak to her higher self while she was on life support. Oh, I'm really sorry. I'm sure she heard you. I'm like, no doubt in my mind that she heard you. But I'm sorry you lost your mom. That's really hard. That's really hard. I I received health warnings for people. Oh yeah, the warnings. I've talked about this on the channel before, but it's probably been a while since I've talked about it. Before my grandmother died, like I knew she was gonna die. Like I had a vision of it, and I told my mom about it, and she's like, oh, kind of like passed it up. Like a week later, she died, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like I know that their abilities, obviously their abilities, but some stuff is like heavy. Some stuff is very heavy. So sorry for your loss. Yeah, I'm so sorry for losing your mother. Like I know that's really, really freaking hard. That's so hard to lose a parent. How to unblock, or what do one unblock to hear from? Wait, how do unblock, or what to unblock to hear from your guides? As far as connecting with your guides, again, just with anything, it's about the energy you're putting into it. It's not going to be overnight for everybody. Some people are born with being able to hear their guides. Some people, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. Honestly, I find that the biggest thing is people just don't know how to listen. That probably sounds very bitchy of me to say, and I didn't mean for it to come off bitchy. But I find that that's probably like one of the biggest reasons people don't hear their guides. They just don't know how to listen. And the truth of it is you got to just quiet your mind. People have been programmed to quite literally not listen. That's the key. I mean, they're there all the time. They're there all the time. And yeah, if you do the work and raise your consciousness and you get into a spiritual practice and you do intentionally try to connect with them, you will hear them at some point, but it might not be overnight. You just have to be patient with it. How much time does it take? It's different for everybody. It's different for everyone. That is not a one answer thing. It is quite literally different for every person. Let's see. And keep in mind, guys, like I said, everybody's abilities are a little different. Like you're not always going to hear them audibly. Sometimes you'll hear them telepathically. Sometimes you'll just see them. Not everyone sees their guides that way. So it's like, it is a very different experience for everybody. Like, and I probably sound like such a broken record, guys. I'm so sorry. It's always good to seek out guidance. It's always good to seek out information. But at the end of the day, when it comes to spiritual practices and what to expect in your practice, that is unique to you. Like your experience is not going to be the same as anyone else. There are themes that we all experience, which is why we all talk about these topics, right? There are the big umbrellas of things that happen, but within the specifics, it's going to be different from person to person, I feel like you can block abilities too if you're trying to force it or manipulate your experience. You can definitely shut off abilities. Like I think I've talked about this before, where I shut off the ability to hear people's thoughts. I did not like that. Oh, I did not like that one whatsoever. I was like, oh, I do not need to know what's in people's heads. Like this is too disturbing. Like sometimes I'll hear people's inner dialogue still, but like hearing people's like ongoing thought trains of their trauma and stuff, I was like, I don't need to be getting my coffee and being exposed to this. Like I really don't. Yeah, and like I just shut that one off out of just like pure resistance, like of no. My dad loves me and kisses me inside and out. Let's see. My daughter knows my thoughts. Oh yeah, my mom and I have strong telepathy. My mom and I have really strong telepathy. When I visited her, we were at opposite ends of the house, and every night when I went to bed, like we would carry on telepathic conversations. Like I'd hear her voice and everything. It was kind of funny. That would be too much. Oh yeah, it was too much. Like I was looking at everybody and it was like, oh, they've been through this, that person's been through that person experienced this, that person has trauma from that. And I was like, oh no, too much. And not to mention, it's like the human brain is disturbing. Like really, like if you think about, and hey, we're all human, right? So it's like we all have some kind of weird perverse thoughts, just because it's just, again, that's just the darkness of the human brain. Even if you don't realize you're thinking about certain things, but whoa, like some of the shit that goes through people's heads is like half the stuff I would say are like criminal shit that goes through people's heads. Like half the stuff is like depraved and criminal stuff. And I don't even think they're aware of it. Like, I don't even think people are aware that they're having these kinds of thoughts. It's just like, wow. it's a little scary. It's a little scary. Shout out to Clyde. Where is he? He's been very weird the last month or so. I'm sure you guys have noticed, like, he hasn't even really been in the camera that much. Like, I don't know what's up with that cat. I don't know what's up with him. Just imagine being able to feel everyone's moods and feelings. Sucks, but so great. Yeah, like, these gifts are gifts, and not everybody can handle them. That's why they're gifts, right? How do I know if I'm connecting with a spirit or guide, or if it's just my mind? Honestly, trust is the biggest thing. I think that's probably one of the most popular questions I get asked. Like, how do I know I'm not crazy? How do I know it's not wishful thinking? If you're trusting what you're getting, and you should be able to understand the difference. If you have enough confidence within yourself, you should be able to have that discernment right out the, like, you should be able to have that discernment. It's when you let the ego kind of get in there where it's like, oh, this, I don't think that's real. I don't think that's right. I don't think that could actually happen. That's when you start getting confused. Also, I would say the biggest, like, discernment signal is if you hear you versus I. If you're speaking and if you're hearing this stuff in the terms of I, that's you. Right? Like, that's you talking to yourself. If you hear you need to do this, that's being directed to you. I would say that's probably the biggest things to the biggest signal, excuse me, for practicing discernment. But if you have that confidence, you will know. You will know. You will know without a shadow of a doubt. But it's letting the ego kind of get in there, and like having that doubt get in there. You're gonna get confused, you know? What about false light? Anytime I get messages or something is trying to interact with me, I always first thing I say, are you of my highest good? Are you of divine light? Do you have good intentions? Are you of my highest good? And they'll answer, or they'll just go away. If you're worried about that. People like me who like put ourselves out there in a public sphere are way more exposed to those energies. I would just, on a daily, like, way more exposed. So I have to do that a lot, but it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear, especially like the way they speak, I would say is usually a dead giveaway. Like, you can tell when something is speaking to you in a divine manner versus something that's just trying to manipulate you, you can tell the difference, especially if you've been like exposed to it for a while. But yeah, if you just question it right out the gate, like, they'll just go away, or they'll just be like, they'll just reaffirm what you already know. Let's see. How do you learn to trust yourself? How did I learn to trust myself? I think because I've been experiencing this stuff from such a young age. I just always knew. That definitely played a role in for me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie about that, because it had always just kind of been there to some capacity. For me, that definitely played a role. Actually, I honestly, that might be how I trusted myself. That might be how I learned to trust myself, because I knew the stuff I was experiencing, no one could explain. I knew that. Like, that was just like, I just knew. Like, I don't know how else to say that. Yeah, like, all my experiences with spirits and visions and things, like, I just knew. My mom would be like, oh, that was just a dream, or maybe it's just this. Like, no, it wasn't. But then again, I'm a Scorpio. So maybe that's what it was. No, it wasn't. So maybe that's just what it was. Yeah, I hate to like give you like a non-answer, but I just always knew. And I know people struggle with that. And like I said, I've been experiencing this stuff ever since I was a kid. Like, one of my first memories was of a really intense astral experience. Oh, I froze. Yeah, one of my first memories was of a really intense astral experience. Like, I've just always had this. And I know not everybody does. I know that. So it's like, I know that it's easy for people who have never experienced it, who are suddenly experiencing it, to get caught up in the doubt of it, right? Or to listen to other people and like be like, no, I am just crazy, or no, it's not really happening. I mean, God, I'm like trying to think of another like piece of advice I could give here. if you're experiencing something, oh, thank you, Allie. I don't know what the message was. Nancy was hidden by Allie. Thank you, Allie. I appreciate it. I don't even know what she was saying. I would say the biggest thing is if you're experiencing something and you just can't shake the feeling of like, I feel like I'm really experiencing this. I feel like I'm really experiencing this. And people try to tell you it was just a dream. Oh, you're just crazy. You're just imagining things. But you know that there's nothing else that could actually explain it. Why not just believe what you're actually experiencing? You know, I'm like, that's another interesting thing that like I was talking to my mom about when we were talking about aliens and things like that. And we we're talking about pyramids and, you know, all of these structures that have been here, you know, since the previous ice age, but we never had the technology for it. But it's like people don't want to believe in aliens, but we've had proof of that like for a long time. It's like people just don't want to believe what they're actually experiencing. You know, it's like anything that they are told or programmed is too fantastical. They'll just follow that program. But it's like, if all the evidence points to this, why can't it be that? Right? Like, why can't it be that? If you have nothing to say that it's not that, why can't it be that? Like, that's something that I think like always boggled my mind of people who are like very skeptical. Because it's like, well, you have nothing that substantiates any other explanation. So why would I take your explanation if you have nothing to back it up? Right? And people will say that about stuff in the spiritual community, but we do have proof, right? We do have proof. And isn't actually experiencing something and living an experience proof enough? Like, isn't that just learned by observation? Like, I don't know. Anyway, maybe I'm going off the rails there. Let's see. I feel like an alien. I am very open to all things. There are a lot of star seeds here. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There's a lot of star seeds in the community. There's a lot. And honestly, like after my last experience in Sedona, I also realized I would say most of the population are star seeds. But there are also those that are not. And that actually led me to a very depressing thought, but I won't share that here because that's going into some deep, dark shit. People get triggered fears about it. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because it's programming, right? Because if they just accepted the truth, there's actually a lot of like relief and happiness that can come from understanding and knowing the truth versus what the program is telling you is false. It's like really unfortunate, right? Let's see. If you have the gift of discernment, start cleansing your house and protecting. Oh, yeah. You just reminded me. I need to cleanse. You just reminded me. I look at people like, oh, he or she is definitely a feline being or bird being or reptile. I'm curious, Al Emmanuel, what do you think I fall into? Because I know for a fact what I am, but I'm curious what you think I fall into if you don't already know. I'm curious. I was told when you astral travel, you die. No, you don't. I promise you don't. I'll explain that in a second. I'm curious if Manuel's going to answer that question. Bird, yes. Yep, you're correct. I'm a carrion. What was your question? Oh, astraling and dying. No, you don't die. You don't die. So with astraling, I actually had to explain this long explanation because someone had a really good question. I can't remember if it was on Patreon or if it was on YouTube, but it was definitely during a live video. And they were asking me like very specific questions on astraling and dimensions and all that and how that works. So when it comes to dimensions, all these dimensions, just think of it like they're all just constantly running. They're just on top of each other, right? So when you're astraling, you're just going to another dimension. Our bodies are third dimensional. They stay here. Our consciousness can go up to however many dimensions you're connected to at the time, because not everybody's connected to the higher dimensions. I know I'm not using proper words in English here. Not everybody's connected to the 11th dimension and higher, right? Some people are just have made it to the 7th or 8th. Not everybody has exceeded that, but your consciousness is extended through that. Your physical body is stuck in the 3D. So you don't die. Your body's here, you're living, your consciousness just goes to where it's connected to energetically. It's just energy. That's all. I hope that explained the answer for you. I know sometimes it's kind of abstract for people to like let it sink in for people. Let's see. Can bad things in those dimensions attack in your dreams? Yes. Short answer is yes. Short answer is yes. Excuse me. But there are different ways to shield yourself, just like how you would in your day-to-day with like energy shielding and all of that. I have to fight shit off all the time when I'm in the other dimensions, all the time. But that's the thing. As your light gets brighter and as you ascend further, you're more likely to encounter these other energies because you're just that much brighter and you're just that much stronger, right? But also at the same time, it depends on what your mission is, depends on what your blueprint is, depends on what your purpose is. If you're at the front lines, you know, you're going to be experiencing that a lot, versus if you're not really at the front lines. It all depends on, you know, what your personal blueprint is. But that's a very complicated topic to get into. Let's see. Oh, so many questions. It's so funny. We really got off the topic of mediumship. We really kind of like wandered off there. I see. Oh, that was weird. I see crows and ravens when my parents died. Is that a symbol warning or my animal? It could be totems of your parents, honestly. It could be totems of your parents, or they could be, oh, oopsie. Or they could be your personal, shit, where'd it go? Okay, I lost the question. Or they can be your personal totems. Like ravens, to me, I always consider to be a fairly good omen. I always feel like that's an omen of order and justice is coming into play. Like things are being put right. It's also an energy of guardianship as well. Like very similar to the eagle, but I would say eagle is more, I don't want to say higher ranking. Like I don't know how to say that. Like if I had to compare the two as far as like level of guardian energy, I would say eagle would be more like archangel status, while raven is probably more ancestral, right? If I had to like give a ranking to it as far as energy is concerned. But yeah, that's what I would take away from that. Cows and like cattle are usually associated with abundance and blessings, and they're very feminine energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if those were the totems of your parents. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. They are some pranksters. Oh, they can be. They can be. Sometimes they freak me out too. So yeah, sometimes they can represent that like trickstery energy. Oh, there's this whole thing in Sedona I never did a video on that I meant to. I really want to make that a topic too. Balmy spirit, sacred clowns. I might do a video on that. That's a whole other topic. But yeah, there was a crow involved in my experience with that, and it was freaking me out. And I was like, not a whole lot of things can freak me out, you know. That's why I saw into meditation, and they kept opening doors to other galaxies. Ellie, no. Randy, I live in Arizona, Sedona. It's so magical. I really love Sedona so much. I'm actually going to be there very soon in the next couple of days. Well, a few. I'm going to say a few. The next few days, I'm going to be out there again. What about dead people stuck in this world? You know, that's an interesting topic because through my experience, and like I said, with my mediumship, it hasn't been like a daily thing. It hasn't been as prominent as my other abilities. It just, you know, whenever spirits want to come in, they come in. But now it seems to be amplified or changing or evolving. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But based off of just like my experience and observation, there's a whole gambit of spectrum of situations when it comes to spirits that are stuck here. So when I say, I use this a lot, guys. I know, sorry, that might be very annoying. So when I say spirits stuck here, the first thing that pops in my head is residual. Like residual energy is a really big thing. Empaths can even feel someone's residual energy. Like if they did a task like over and over and over, like if they worked in the same spot for 50 years, there's going to be residual energy from that person still there, like at the particular place doing that kind of job. You can also argue that it's a theory of like timeline energy, of that timeline is still running there or still stuck there. So like some people will mistake that energy for a spirit that is like stuck, but they're not, right? So like some people get, you know, confused with that. Sometimes you can leave fragments of yourself, excuse me, in certain places, especially if it was like a traumatic event or a sudden event, where a piece of yourself is like left behind after you pass on. So it's like, yeah, you're kind of like not here anymore, but a piece of you is stuck there. And you can even argue with soul retrieval that is collecting the pieces that you left behind in other timelines, or even this timeline. You can even argue that that's a part of it, just connecting the dots here. And then with entities that are actually stuck, I don't come across that too often where they're stuck. I would say if that happens, it's something else that's keeping them there. Like for example, when I was in New Orleans, I saw a lot of residual. I saw a lot of things running on loops. I saw a lot of that. So it's like energy can get stuck, but I wouldn't say that like within those loops that these souls are stuck, the energies are on a loop, right? The events that happened are on a loop. So that's more of like a timeline, residual energy fragmentation sort of an issue, right? But I did come across a situation where souls were kind of being trapped. And it's because there was a larger entity at play. I don't think I shared this. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't, because it really did unnerve me a little bit. And before you tell the story, if I had known what I was getting myself into, I wouldn't have gone. But clearly, I needed to have that experience for a reason, okay? So I wanted to go to the Katrina Memorial. I didn't know where it was located. This is why I say if I knew where it was, I wouldn't have gone. I don't know why they would have put the Katrina Memorial where it is. It's located in one of the oldest cemeteries in New Orleans. It's a cemetery where they have mass graves from like mass death events. I did not know this. Again, why? Maybe this is the theme of the area. I don't know. I don't know why. Anyway, so I go to the memorial and I'm just walking along the grounds. And then these two boys came to me. Very strong energy. And it was like they were just not, I don't want to like bum you guys out, you know. They were just pretty sad. Like they were just kind of sad. They weren't all that confused. They weren't. They just were mostly like sad. And it's like they just sought me out. And I was trying to do what I could to release these energies. And all of a sudden, something rushed me from behind. I didn't get a glimpse of it. I just felt it and I heard it like rush me. And after that, like I protected myself and I was fine, but I did like get a picture. I don't know why I did that. I just felt, my intuition was like, get a picture, like grab a picture. And I did, and I caught it on camera. I do have a picture of it. Actually, hold on. I don't know if I should be putting this on here, but let me pull it up. So I looked at it later after the fact. And needless to say, after that, I left the area. I did what I could. I sent some healing energy to the ground, to the earth. Those boys that I came across were released. And I went about my business because I was like, okay, message received. Hold on. Let me find the original. Oh, it's going to be too hard to see because this is a pretty dark image. Oh yeah, it's going to be too hard to see. I'm going to try though. Wonder if I can brighten my phone. Hold on, let me brighten my phone. Okay, you might not be able to see it. Fair warning, you might not be able to see it. Oh God, that's so much glare. Hold on, do you see that? I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like the face, the hat, the chest, the hands. Trying to get it better. Yeah, so you guys can see it. Okay, all right, I'm put it down now. Yeah, that thing rushed me. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Did my job, did what I could, I'm out. But like I said, I protected myself and like everything was fine. But that is an example of something trapping actual souls versus fragments of energy or residual energy on a loop. Because like that was the big thing I found in New Orleans, where it was like the energy network was like all broken. It was like fragmented. It was like all damaged, and like all this energy was like on loops. So like, and that's what I would see. Like when I walked around, it's like I was just getting like flashes of things that had happened. Right. So it's like, oh, they're not really there. It's just the energy stuck on a loop, like a timeline stuck on a loop, reliving itself over and over and over and over again, even though the souls are gone. Right. Let's see. How come phones can pick up these images? Our eyeballs are not that advanced. That's why. It's not necessarily like what's special about the phone. It's like, what's so primitive about our eyeballs? It's really more about that. It's really more about that. That's why technology can pick up on a lot more than our actual eyeballs and ears can. That's why, because this is all primitive 3D stuff. This is 3D stuff. Frequency and energy, those extend to higher dimensions, and that's what all technology is based off of, is like frequencies and energy, right? But that's why. Let's see. That's like the glitter Jessa was talking about that we're going through right now. Yeah, exactly. A lot of messed up stuff happened. Oh my God. Oh, a lot of messed up shit. I mean, just some of the stuff that I saw, when I say saw, it's like I got visuals and flashes of what had happened. And I was just like, holy shit. And then I would try to find the story behind that to get confirmation or just more information. There was a really horrific murder that I saw flashes of, and it was just like, oh my God, it was a total massacre. And it was just like, how the fuck does this shit happen? Siren of Healing, thank you for the $5. I panic out of nowhere when I tapped in, as if I'm being pulled. What is that? That could just be astraling. Sometimes I find when people's abilities are expanding, or if they're, or if they are astraling, sometimes anxiety can come over because either you're not used to it or you're just very aware of what's about to happen. So just be, that could just be it. Honestly, because that's how astraling feels to me sometimes. Sometimes I don't have a choice. Sometimes oh, I'm going astral. That just is what it is. And it usually feels like that to me. But I feel like that can happen. I feel like sometimes people panic and then the process will stop. But someone asked me, sorry, I was talking about something I forgot. I already forgot what I was talking about. Something about New Orleans. When meditating, my head tingles. What can I do to open myself more to receive messages? So it sounds like your crown is working really, really well. So yeah, it sounds like your crown is being activated, or at least your upper chakras are being activated. And I kind of been answering this question through the course of the night, is really just to keep trying. And I know people don't like to hear that answer, but it really is about the practice. Either just the spiritual practice, the frequency of it, and also trying to understand your own energy and how it relates to your guides to receive messages. And I've also mentioned that sometimes people just don't know how to listen. Not saying you don't. Just like the general things that I find people have problems with. Why did I get nasally every time I talk about this? Some of the issues that people do run into, it's like with the listening, I think it takes people a while to learn how to quiet their mind. But also I find people sometimes in quieting their mind, they're really hyper-focused on what's going to come in. And I think the key is really to be really just relaxed and just receptive and just kind of be in the moment. When you're in the moment and you're just focused on your breath, or you're allowing yourself to get to those other levels, that's when the messages come in. It's not being so focused on my mind is quiet, my mind is quiet, my mind is quiet. What are they going to say? What are they going to say? Or just waiting for that little glimpse. It's about letting go. It's about letting go and being relaxed to let stuff come in. But like I always say, it's like it really comes down to the individual and the individual's practice and the individual's connections to their own guides to receive messages. And it is very personal. And it is very different. So you just got to find your little trigger tap in. And honestly, once that's open, stuff will just come flooding in, But it takes time too. You got to be patient. It's not going to be overnight. Some people are born with it. Some people it takes a long time. So just try to be patient with yourself. Okay. Let's see. No, I never did the video about the proper breathing. I never did. I keep trying to organize all these ideas for the Balmy Spirit series. Also with the breathing one, I realized to show proper breathing, I would have to I think I need a helper, someone who can demonstrate proper positionings of the back and the diaphragm and all of that. And so I can get proper shots of that, because I feel sorry, that's weird. Someone's energy has just distracted me. That's weird. That was a weird feeling. There's always someone in the chat. What was I just talking about? Oh, I feel like I need to show off those proper positionings, because as much as I talk about it, I don't want to try to explain my way through proper breathing without showing a good example of that. So I need a helper. I need a helper with that. Let's see. I guess it would suck if your guides were stuck in religion then. I mean, even after they passed. That's an interesting statement. That's an interesting statement. Let's see. But sometimes we can lay down, right? I actually suggest laying down first, because when you lay down, your diaphragm automatically takes over most of the work compared to when you're standing up. And if your diaphragm is activated, that's usually the biggest helper in breathing. Most people don't know how to use their diaphragms properly when they breathe. So if you're laying down and you're breathing, your diaphragm is doing most of the work automatically because you're laying down, and that can also give you a good sense of how to really use your diaphragm. So I'd actually recommend doing it laying down first. You're getting blurry. I am? I'm sorry. I lost my ability to hear my guides. Oh no, I'm sorry, Sarah. How do I get it back? Again, it's the same way of what I've been talking about with connecting to guides. I'm really sorry you lost it. It can be frustrating. Sometimes, there's periods where you might feel blocked or that it might feel like it's being turned off, but sometimes that's also because you might be going through an upgrade or you might be going through some kind of training. Sometimes they back off. Sometimes they back off for various reasons, and it doesn't mean they're totally gone. They're still there. So I'd just be patient in that arena. You might be hearing from them relatively soon because they got a lot of stuff going on. But I would just try to keep at it and even just tell them, be like, look, I don't know what happened, but I need to start hearing you again. Because they're always there. They're always waiting for you to talk to them. So it's like, I would even just go as far as to say that. Let's see. Oh shoot, did I miss super chats? I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. Michelle, I wanted to send you a pic I took unknowingly, and I don't know what kind of being this is. It just showed up on my phone. Ooh, wanted permission to email. Yeah, email it to me. I'm curious. I'm really curious. The nerd in me is like, ooh, what? Yeah, definitely send it to me. I'll give you my honest opinion. And if I don't know what it is, I don't know what it is. But yeah, I'll let you know. Let's see. How about hawks? Oh, Jody, that's so funny you mentioned that. Hawks have been really they've been all over my ass in a good way, in a really good way for a while. On the second, that was one of my confirmations. I was in my apartment and I heard this hawk just screech so loud. And I live in LA City. And I was like, wow, okay, that was a confirmation I really needed. And then today, as I was driving, a hawk came as I was driving and it flew right by me again in Los Angeles. I'm just like, where are these hawks coming from? Hawks also, that's a guardian energy as well. Again, a lot of this stuff comes in different flavors, right? Birds in general are usually about dealing with other people or networking or communication. In general, birds are like that. Birds also considered to be very divine. Birds also considered to be guardians of sorts. And then if you break down the different species, they all have different meanings, right? Like eagles are about foresight, wisdom. They're usually related to Scorpios. Ravens, we talked about ravens, right? Like order, justice. There's also some kind of mischievous trickery that they're associated with. They're usually associated with Geminis or Libras. If you want to get down nitty gritty. With hawks, okay, first of all, birds in general for me are a very special sign just because I am Carrion, right? So it's since my last Sedona trip, birds have been all over me. They've been very aware of my existence, and it's very fascinating. I've like formed this special relationship with birds ever since then, and I know it's because of that, right? But everyone's like, it just depends on what context this is happening in, right? And they all come in different flavors. But going back to hawks are very tactile as far as like energy is concerned. They're very methodical, very strategic. It's like very Aries like energy, right? If we're talking about a hawk as a totem. But again, it's also about protection and being led by spirit. So if you start seeing hawks, it's basically like spirit showing up like, look, we're leading you in the right direction. We got your back. We're here for you. We're supporting you, and you're doing the right things. Then it can also lean towards symbols of ascension as well. Like I know when I had my very first ascension, so this is going to be interesting. So I have wings. You can't see them, obviously. But I have wings just because of like my star seed origins. I do have wings, but I have a pair of hawk wings. And I know that's just based off of my particular ancestry, but they really came online when I had my first ascension. But like I said, it depends on the context and depends on like how you're seeing it and what's going on in your life. But those are the general flavors of like seeing birds and like certain totems. Let's see. I fall asleep every time. Did I miss another super chat? I'm sorry, guys. I get so caught up in talking. Can't help myself. Did I miss it? Oh, I did. I'm sorry. Thank you, Elle, for the $9.99. Endless time loops are my worst fear. I have daily deja vu attacks where everything feels like I've lived it before, multiple timelines, premonitions. I'm crazy. Have I died? I'm so sorry. I totally get it. I totally get it. I totally feel you. It's nothing to be afraid of. It is a thing, obviously, right? Like it's a thing. But I think you're okay. I think you're fine. That was cute though. That was really cute. Let's see. The Kobe death was original. Okay, yeah, let's talk about the Kobe death for a minute, because I don't know about you guys, but when that happened, maybe it's going to sound crazy. Maybe it's not. When I heard the news, I just felt in my core that it wasn't, because, okay, let me preface this by saying I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I was always aware of Kobe's existence. I grew up in the time of his heyday, very aware. I'll be honest, I was not always a Kobe fan. Just being totally honest, I was a Clippers fan. So that's why I was not a Kobe fan. I was just a Clippers fan. That's just straight up, just facts, right? So I never followed him closely. So it's what I'm about to say, I'm saying as someone who was not super tapped into the goings on of Kobe Bryant for most of his career, just aware of him. Okay. When I got that news, I don't know about you, it felt like a time glitch to me. I don't know why it felt like that. When I heard that, I was like, this needs to be happening in another timeline. That's the first thing I thought was this needs to be happening in another timeline, not this one. I don't know. I don't know why I felt that way. Maybe I'm off there. I had that thought and it was putting the thought away, but it definitely seemed very significant for that kind of a thing to happen, especially considering how many people died, that was a lot of people to die in that kind of an incident, which is really unfortunate. Let's see. I feel it's when I heard, I was like, something feels really twisted here. That's it didn't feel, I wish I could even say surreal. It wasn't a surreal feeling. I'm used to that where I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. It wasn't that. It was it literally felt like a cringe in my stomach. Something's not right with this event happening right now. Something about it just felt like it was in a wrong timeline or something. I don't know why I felt that way, but that's how I felt. Not saying I'm right. Not saying I'm right at all. It's just what I felt. Let's see. That's how I felt. I don't know anything about Kobe. I remember thinking that's a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah, because it was I can't explain that feeling, but that's how I've seen a lot of people die. I've lost a lot of people in my life. I've gone through those feelings of grief, being attached to somebody and them dying, not being attached to somebody and them dying, and anywhere in between. And it's and I understand that feeling of shock versus, oh my God, this is surreal, versus wait a minute, right? There's something really funky about this. That's literally how I felt when I heard the news. That's literally how I felt. And even every time I hear it, I feel like I'm hearing false information. Every time I hear it, I just feel like this is not the right timeline for this. I just keep feeling like that every time I hear people talk about it. Is our president a glitch? Oh my God, I love that. Is our president a glitch? Unfortunately, I don't think so. Oh my God, that was so funny. I feel like so many timelines are just trying to line up and merge together. I feel like that too. I already feel like I'm in March, which is so weird. I already feel like I'm in March. And for the longest time, I kept feeling when we were in mid-January, I kept feeling I was waking up mid-late February, but then I felt March was a year away. But then I feel like April was like going to be non-existent. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it was just like weird timeline shit that I was just like, this is too weird. I need to be out of this weird time loop or warp. Oh, that's weird. I said loop on accident. Oh, now I'm getting nervous. I'm stuck in January. Oh no, Allie, get out of January. Get out. So happy to be in February. So fucking happy. But now I feel like I'm in March. So like, I don't know what kind of timeline stuff I'm experiencing, because I actually feel like I'm in March. Every time I was about to talk about one of the dates in the full moon video, I kept having to stop myself because I kept wanting to say March, like March 16th, March 20th. I kept wanting to say that instead of February. I like your hair pinned up. Oh, thank you. I just have it like scrunchied. Just have it scrunchied. Oh, excuse me. Let's see what we got here. I feel like it was February when it was still January. Time has been so crazy. Yes, it has. It so has. I feel the same. I keep writing the date for March. Yeah, I'm like, I mean, I know I'm eager. I know deep down I'm eager, but now I'm like, okay, I was in February for a while. Now I'm in March. So I'm just going to roll with it. I'm just going to ride with it. Let's see. Why do I yawn when I meditate? Well, yawning biologically is your body asking for more oxygen. Quite literally, like that's why we yawn, because it's, well, a couple of reasons actually. We're needing more oxygen, and also like our lungs and diaphragm are getting tired. It's one of the reasons we yawn. Mostly the oxygen reason. But if you're meditating and that's happening, it's just like your body's also trying to get into a state of relaxation. I think that's all it is. I don't know if you meditate at night or in the morning, but that could also make a difference with that. Hey, Michelle. Sent the pic, and Gianna wasn't supposed to go. Okay, I'll look at it after the live. Releasing and shifting energy, I feel. Let's see. Did you see my super chat? Oh, I'm sorry, Alyssa. Let me see. It is easy for me to miss that stuff. Oh, I did. I'm sorry, Alyssa. I didn't mean to miss it. Thank you for the 444. Blessings. Love you. I love you too. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to miss it. I do miss them sometimes. Sometimes the chat just goes too fast, or I look off to the side for a minute. Let's see. Of massive destruction. Well, 2024 is going to be really cool, because 2024 Pluto will finally move out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. And in 2024, there's going to be something else going to be in Aquarius too. It's not going to be Saturn, because Saturn's going to be in Aqua for 2022. I feel like something else is going to be in Aquarius though. Oh, maybe it'll retrograde. I don't know. But yeah, 2024, Pluto's going to shift. I don't think it'll be catastrophic. I think it's actually going to be really nice. I think most of like the big changes are going to be happening from like end of 2020 to like 2023. I feel like that's when we're going to see the biggest changes to society anyway. And then once Pluto goes into Aquarius, it's just going to aid the finalization of the new kind of society, where it's not such like a hierarchy, patriarchal sort of a system and it's all like, stacked, right? Like people on the bottom, people on the top. It's going to be more like, what's the word I'm looking for? This. What's that word? I don't know a word for that. Horizontal. I don't know the word for that. Like this. It's going to be more like this, not like this, like this. I'm tired, you guys. I'm tired. You need a mod for your chat. Oh no, am I missing some stuff? If anyone's being bad, you can shout them out to me and I'll take a peek. Let's see. No, everyone's being cool. No, just for future reference. Okay. Because I have mods. I don't expect them to jump on all the time, though. No, it's all good. Okay, thank you, Allie. Yeah, I don't expect my mods to jump on all the time. Like, they got their own channels, and they've got their own, they got their own stuff going on. And I don't like tell them when I'm gonna have lives and stuff. So it's just as they like want to come out and support. Let's see. Cherry, talk about mediumship. Oh, sorry, Cherry, if you came late. We kind of just got caught up in chitter chatter and went off the rails. So I'll just be putting that in the title that it ended up in chit chat. But yeah, if you guys have any other like questions about mediumship, and I think we talked about it quite a bit. Talked about a lot of topics. I don't even know what to call this, honestly. I'm just gonna put like chit chat about everything. I don't know, but I have been on for an hour, so I probably should go, guys. I probably should. And it is kind of late, and I've been very sleep deprived, and I really need to sleep. I got a lot going on tomorrow. But thank you guys for coming out, and thank you guys for the super chats, and especially if you were hanging out with me all night from the full moon video to this one. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry if I missed it. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know how to say your name. Leia? Is it Leia or Leia? I apologize. I'm sorry I missed it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to miss them. I really don't. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Good night. Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm going to go. I hope you guys sleep really well. Hopefully the spirits don't bother you. Hopefully they don't bother me tonight. But yeah, I'm going to go. I'll see you guys soon. Okay. Namaste.